Hey everybody, it's your girl Anisha coming in for another edition of Industry Conversations 101, where hey, all of the artists, all of you listeners receive the game on Industry Conversations 101. So tonight I have a wonderful show for you all, as always, every Thursday. Tonight my special guest is Pudgee the Fat Bastard, who is a legend in this industry, in the hip hop world. So excited to have him on the show with us tonight. Also in the mix on the ones and twos tonight is my boy DJ Gates, who will be joining me as well. So I'm very excited about this show tonight, especially for all my peoples, all my hip hop heads. Definitely will be able to get Pudgee the Fat Bastard in on the conversation tonight. So many things going on in the industry right now. So much in regards to the deaths lately that has been surrounded around in the comedic world, also in the entertainment industry. Just want to send my condolences out to everybody right now that are experiencing a death, due to either whether it's be the pandemic, COVID, or even someone who has basically had an addiction or anything of that nature. So many things that are happening right now in the world as a whole. We saw earlier on the Shade Room this week the beef between Nell and Jocelyn. So I mean, I don't understand why we have so much beef going on right now, especially with the times that we're experiencing right now. But it's so much beef in regards to who said what, so much stuff right now on Instagram, and I think everybody is just pretty much just having their own partake on all these events that are basically going on right now. So definitely, so much to talk about right now. We see so many things, especially in social media, that just pretty much kind of just hurts us so much, and I think we just have that outlet to just basically just let our frustration go. We see TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, so much stuff. And don't get me wrong, it is entertaining. I think it's very entertaining sometimes, especially with the things that we see, on a daily basis. First and foremost, I think when we do kind of go on these rants, when we do have these things that goes on, I think social media is just a way for us to, let out our frustration. Um, I think at times, we just basically just have these things that where we just use social media as an outlet. You know what I mean? And I really think that some way we'll probably find a different outlet that where we'll be able to maybe uplift each other. That's the hope, I guess, for the world right now, for us to be able to uplift each other instead of just using social media as a tool to attack each other. So definitely, so much right now that is going on that we really need to kind of think about a few things. Think about a few things before we go on social media to have this big rant or have this big beef against everyone in regards to who said or he said she said stuff. So much stuff. But again, it's entertaining. It's very entertaining. I think we as a whole, we as a people, just need to do a little bit better job at that. But of course, like I said, we have DJ Gates on the one and twos. That's going to be going into the Industry Conversations 101 mix. And then after we have the Industry Conversations 101 mix, we'll be back with Pudge the Fat Bastard. So definitely, you all stay tuned for that interview. We'll be right back after this in the Industry Conversations 101 mix with DJ Gates.
So juicy. Juicy, like, whoa. Ass so fat, she needs someone to sit it on. No relationship, chasing paper shit. She like, fuck that, I don't want to get involved. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm with it. You let me in. Promise never go call back. I'ma tap in, tap that, when you tap out. Bet that, I'ma respect that. You got that juicy. No. I need to know respect. Now you don't know me. You can fuck with me like you owe me. No. You a man's dream. When I'm focused with money, don't want us with time. Yeah, just a little bit of coca. You end up in my casa. Cállate la boca. Get it wet from my coca. Now you turn to a loca. And you yelling out like, into that body. body like Future tomorrow. Wake up in a brand new Bugatti. Juicy! They call it juicy, juicy. Yeah, you know that I'm choosy. How you move that body, that movie. Hey, they call it juicy, juicy. Hey, I let you act all bougie, long as you keep it juicy. Hey, they call it juicy, juicy. Yeah, you know that I'm choosy. How you move that body, that movie. Hey, they call it juicy, juicy. I give it choosy, that body move me. She could be bougie, long as she juicy. Beautiful girl, I feel gritty. I wanna write on your walls like graffiti. Got too much brains for a thug, but I still wanna shoot up your club. Heard you got a shopping habit, baby. I get you Mercedes, drive me crazy. Heard that you a tripping diamond addict, baby. My water Titanic, as long as I'm getting that head. Get to see how you thinking, you calling me daddy. I'm fucking you, let me. I'm not gonna be petty. When I get that bread and you steady, giving me that buddy. I'm thinking about changing your daddy. You got the box, make a nigga wanna rap a new block. Block. Don't stop. You the bartender, baby. Give me 2 shots. Juicy. They call it juicy, juicy. Girl, you know that I'm choosy. How you move that body, that movie. Hey, they call it juicy, juicy. I let you act all bougie, long as you keep it juicy. Hey, they call it juicy, juicy. Girl, you know that I'm choosy. How you move that body, that movie. Patient with you every day. I'm praying, I'm hoping you find some better words to say. It's hurting my feelings, hope that demon spirit goes away. I hope I live to fight another day. It's killing me, don't know how much more I can take. Running out of space, pushing me out the frame. Calling me so many things, I'm starting to forget my name. I gave you away, I told you I'll leave and I'll even pay out. I've been looking, I don't see how I can stand it. I hope you realize I've been trying to save my lives. Give you a chance, just gotta end. Before we have blood on our hands, this could end in a murder. Kept giving you options, but you always choose violence. Always choose violence. Love is worth no pain, no gain. But when it's all over, hope you feel ashamed. Could end in a murder. Kept giving you options, but you always choose violence. Always choose violence. If you want to say no, I know you think you're irreplaceable, so special, I won't go. You ain't gotta leave on the one that's gone, cause you always think you're right when you're wrong, and you're wrong when you're right, and you're gonna win a fight when it's time to get a life. Well, now I'm about to get one without you in it, then I'ma be with it, baby. But you out the way, I can stick to the plans, back to the love for the bands. I hope you realize I've been trying to save those lives. Gave you a chance, this gotta end. Before we have blood on our hands, this could end in a murder. Kept giving you options, but you always choose violence. Always choose violence. Love is worth no pain, no gain. But when it's all over, I hope you feel ashamed.
Tell you that I love you, know that way. What else can I say? Say to me, doing love like I gotta prove it to you. Ooh, I never been the type to work so hard to show you how I feel. You know it's real, but I rearrange my life. Just tell me what it takes to get through to you. What more can I do? I'm everything. I'm everything that you need. You ain't gotta be so insecure. Found what you've been waiting for. Relax, fall back, don't rush, slow down. Found what you've been waiting for.
I'm gonna sing a song for you. Uptown. And I'm gonna sing a song for you. I'm making light. And I'm gonna sing a song for you. Uptown. And I'm gonna sing a song for you. Making light. And I'm gonna sing a song for you. Wave gang. And this gonna show you a thing or two. I gotta ride that wave. Ride, girl. Ride, girl. Ride that wave. Wave, ride it out. Wave, ride it out. Ride that wave. Ride, girl. Ride, girl. All of me side, no relation to a bird though. First she lose her ego, then the skirt go. She was independent on the workflow. I was in the streets letting work go. Waved on Aquarius, she a Virgo. I had her on the app sipping Merlot. Black beef fresh home on the furlough. LNS collection on the fur flow. Yeah, Luca Browns, Taliban T-Money, salute. Homie, we the best and your girl know. East side, west side, Harlem Borough. Coke wave, gang too thorough. Gang green, let the world know. Champagne spilling on your born day. Spilling in your hallway. Oh yeah, it's on Broadway all day. Sliding home plate, no full play. In the park home, sour and Corona. She was in the loan, fresh from California. I was sending drones up, you was on the donut. Got your little go up, now you need to grow up.
All I wanted was you. All I needed was you. You're all I got, you're my boo. Don't you go, no. All I wanted was you. All I needed was you. You're all I got, you're my boo. Don't you go nowhere. All I wanted was you. All I needed was you. You're all I got, you're my boo. Don't you go nowhere.
Baby, don't go, don't leave. I made a mistake, but don't breathe. You got mad, call me a buster. But you won't understand, so yeah, I touched her. It didn't mean nothing because I love you. So trying to understand when I touch you. I see God, no one can touch you. So why do I do what I do? I wish I could tell, ain't got a clue. But you mean the world to me, girl. And when you feel pain, I wanna hurl. Danger, I'm no stranger. But letting my feelings show even anger. But in my world, there's no danger. Just me and you don't wanna change us. But try to forgive me, girl, I'm bad. You gotta ride. Yeah.
Showtime. Let's go.
We got a vibe alright, take your time. We go into the sunlight, one light, baby, it's all mine. We got a vibe all night, alright, take your time. We go into the sunlight, one light, baby, it's all mine. Yeah.
Check it. Who you know make hits like a bad boy. Whips, I got mad toys. He ain't making no noise. Living life right. Sipping on a Mai Tai. Riding like a Mai Tai. Riding like a mountain bike. It's the view for me. Party popping all night like it used to be. Sundress fit tight. Look glued to me. She started twerking like, but I don't usually. I told her, poke it out. Rub it no doubt. Step out. Show me what you all about. Tongue down her mouth.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Industry Conversations 101. That was DJ Gates in the mix with us tonight for the Industry Conversations 101. As I told you all that I had a special guest for everyone tonight, and that is Pudgee, the fat bastard, who will basically be on with us tonight. Legendary MC in hip hop. And we are so delighted to have him on with us tonight. All right, there we go. Pudgee, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. I'm not as good as you because your skin is clear.
I
I got a pimple the other day. I was eating too much.
Let Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You good. You good.
Yeah, it's a pleasure and honor to have you on tonight. I mean, where do I start? I mean,
Shout out
you've
to Ben
been
for putting it together, right? That's how Ben good looking, Ben.
you've been in this game for a long time. Long time, long time.
Don't remember.
Part of the Trackmasters crew,
Oh,
debut album Given the Finger, which had a lot of heavy MCs, legendary MCs on that record. So tell me, first of all, how did you link up with the Trackmasters crew?
My god sister Aisha, she was in a group called the Poison Posse, by Sweet Tea. And after, we were all grinding for so many years. Once she got her foot in the game, she was like, okay, this is crazy that it's taking you so long to find the right situation. So she called up the Trackmasters, and then she got Tone on the phone. And from then it was like 3 weeks later, we had a deal. Yeah, we had started recording probably 3 days after we spoke, and then 3 weeks later we had a deal. Yeah,
Wow, wow.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
back then, it was all about the music, all about the lyrics. A lot has changed since back then. And Sweet Tea was on the show previously, so got a chance to to chop it up with her as well. And explain that experience to me. How was it working with the Trackmasters crew? Because they were very heavy early 90s, early 2000s as well. So I know they have a great repertoire. So does under your belt as well in
right.
regards to that. So tell me a little bit about like how was it like working with them, and then also basically generating that classic album, because that's a classic album as well. So tell
Uh,
me a little bit about that.
it was kind of interesting because the Trackmasters were at the beginning of getting ready to take off. They still weren't winning in the way that we envisioned ourselves winning, right? So they were working with Chubb Rock. They, I think, had worked with Puffy and Finesse and Quist, and they had did a few other things. So I was blessed enough to catch them at a time where it was a boutique situation. They didn't have a record company. They were just forming a production company, and I was their first artist. So at that time, I think a lot of people, like, say you're working with Dr. Dre, the further and further that person gets into their career, the further and further you get away from having intimate time to record and learn gems from them. I was blessed with Trackmasters at that time to be in their home, not in some big studio, in their home, recording. It wasn't until after we got the deal that we ended up going to Chum King and these studios to record my album. So the journey was like being with brothers. It was really organic. I was able to see them get their first office. I was able to see them start working with Mona Scott. She was nobody then, and when I say nobody, I mean as the Mona Scott we know, right?
Hmm.
She had just stopped being a dancer and managing venues and things of that sort. So I was at the, for me, I was at the needle point of when these people were about to become these big things, and I feel blessed. When you know somebody in their humble, hungry stages, it's totally different than when they've done what they've done, and you're down here and they're up here. So, and you're looking up at them. I was able to see them just in a place of thinking, how do I get there? Same as myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like you said, it's a blessing to see, like you said, to see someone in their humble state and then see how they take off.
Yeah.
You've been successful as well. When you talk about seeing individuals in their humble state, you have formed some very very great relationships during this process. Not to mention the late Biggie Smalls, also the late Tupac, and also late Left Lisa Lopez as well. So explain to me, because we all know about the tragic loss of all three of them. So tell me a little bit about your relationships with them, just as well as how that has taken a toll on your career throughout that time.
That's a really good question. The way you phrased it is great. I again, I knew Tupac before he became a recording artist. I knew Left Eye at the beginning of her career, and Biggie I knew before he was and a recording artist. We were just rappers rapping, and I'm going to give some commonalities and then I'll give some differences. The common thread amongst them all was they never changed. They never changed with me and they never changed with their core people. They did change as far as how they viewed external forces or external individuals, but the people that were there when they were forging their identities as an artist, they still revered them in the same way as long as there wasn't some tragic incident to stop us from interacting the way we interacted. So Left Eye was as real as she was going to be until the time of her passing.
Yeah.
And I've got gems from all of them, right? I have moments, and it wasn't, thank God for the interviewing process, because as I've interviewed over the years, there was a time where I pulled back because it kept making things omnipresent. It was like, just when I thought I could put it to rest, we're talking about it and then it's feeling raw again. So what I found in the instances and working alongside these people is the humanity and how important it was for all three artists to hold on to humanity, or how fighting their humanity was as big as creating their music, if not harder. And there was a time I was in the studio with Rick Rock in LA with Left Eye, and they were having an argument about how she felt homeless people should be allowed to sleep on the train and smell how they want. And she was yelling at the top of her lungs. If Rick Rock ever, he's a producer. He did I Can't Deny It. For Fabulous and Nate Dogg. He's a dope producer. So he was doing a joint for her. And we're in the studio, and the whole session just stopped and became about why homeless people should be allowed to sleep on the train. And I didn't think that the session was going to continue because she was yelling at Rick was like, that don't make no sense. These people are smelling, people are going to work.
Right.
And Lisa is yelling at the Left Eye's yelling at the top of her lung about how that's why this world is messed up and how she's going to change things. It was crazy. Being a Gemini like her, Tupac had those moments, but his moments with me were more about the fake people in the industry, and that we had in common.
Wow.
We were able to identify things and love people and love the meeting of people and the opportunity, but realizing halfway along the way that these aren't the same refined, civilized people that I'm used to dealing with. None of us are perfect. I'm not saying he was perfect. I'm not saying Left Eye or Biggie or any of us are perfect. I'm saying that these people, when dealing with people that they cared about, they were authentic. There was nothing inauthentic about them. So to have Biggie say to me, oh, they're going to take your kindness for a weakness, or we have interesting situations or conversations about his arguments with Little Kim or people that he might have had in Junior Mafia, but he was only saying it to manipulate them. These are real things. I mean, there's conversation that, I think people like pool room, game hall, dice game conversation that friends have that they may change their mind about saying later, but I got to experience those three people's lowest basic level of humanity. And I can say that they were genuine people, but the music industry definitely changed how they approached people.
Yeah. And I like you said, it's a blessing to be able to experience all three of them, in their humanitarian state. You know what I mean? To be able to laugh, to be able to have those moments that you will always cherish with you forever. Of being in the studio with them, creating timeless music. And you touched on something about the fake people in the industry. Here on Industry Conversations 101, that's pretty much the basis of what we try to give the game. We try to go into a little bit of concepts of, for those of the independent artists, those that are watching, to provide them a little bit of insight of how the industry can be. I mean, the industry has its good points and also has its bad points too. However, there's a lot of ghostwriters, in this industry, and I know that you have also, ghost written a lot of things for, some heavy hitters. Uh, we see this all the time where you have artists who are just coming into this game. They just want a chance. They ghost write. Later we see, tabloids where they're trying to sue, where they're trying to put their names out there because, hey, you look at the credits, they're nowhere to be found, but they're claiming they wrote this record. And I think we see this a lot. I saw something today that spoke on it, of how the industry is and how, it preys on those that really are hungry for it, really want to get into the industry, but really don't have the insight of how to get into the industry, such as writing and etc. What is your feel on that?
First of all, I have to say, the topics you touch on and the way you articulate them is brilliant. Like, I don't want to talk about, silly stuff. I get in these interviews and people want to talk about silliness, right?
Yeah.
So you having these conversations with me, definitely hats off to you. I bow
Thank
down
you.
to you. I have a lot to say about that. I walked away from the business for several reasons. And I'll say this. People think because they don't, and I tell people, stop taking I call it the snapshot. Stop taking a snapshot of people and thinking that because they're not on your television, that they're not working. That's only one aspect of this business. And honestly, the only benefit is the promotion, right? The people see you and they place value on you when you're already valuable. I'm still a bar of gold, whether you even know what it is. You're 5, you don't know what a bar of gold is. I'm still a bar of gold. So it's interesting that I'll write for someone or have written for people and walked away with the money, and it could be your favorite person. The song could be on the radio and you think I'm doing nothing. And this person is out there parading around like they wrote the song. And that's the mission, right? I'm supposed to give you a piece of work that you embody as your own. You personify this, you become the face piece of this song, and that's fine. But it should not be your goal to discredit or push the writer to the back so that they can get no more work. And there's this common practice of people giving out nominal amounts. I'll take, since he's gone, I guess he's the best one. I'll take Michael Jackson and say, which I believe he might have been one of the people that started, giving $50,000 to an artist and saying, all right, goodbye. You get no publishing. You get nothing. You're going to sign this NDA. You can tell no one you wrote this song. And we're done. That the revenue generated from, at least when it was right, generated from one platinum song could be a check for $250,000 every 3 months. That's life-changing for someone who just sat in their house and wrote a song from their life experience, because you want to think, oh, it's just a song, but it came from here and it came from here. It came from those two things combining and orchestrating something that touched other people. And they love to devalue, the arts and act like because they come from a place of intangibility, because I didn't go get my wood and my concrete from Home Depot. I pulled it out of my mind, which is through the spirits and the Greek muses, the 9 Greek muses and God. You feel that this is something you can place this amount on, when we know, in fact, this is my intellectual property. So there's some point where I feel like you should stop pushing the writers to the back, and maybe this business would be a totally different business. That's what I've envisioned for a long time. I feel like if you bestowed upon the people who are super talented the idea that they are super talented and they are worth every dime or every penny or every iota of what their worth actually is, they would then turn around and re-energize that and output it as great work. And you would have all your favorite artists who maybe didn't write the song, Whitney Houston or Tony Braxton or whoever, give you their talent, which was the great voice and the ability to present, to make a presentation of the voice combined with the lyricism, right? And the instrumentation. Right. These are all things that are important to the final product. And it's like you make a cake, and if you leave the eggs out, or if you leave the oil out, you might get a flat ass cake or a rubbery cake, right?
Exactly.
So we know the importance of these things. Why don't we know the importance of the writer in the room, the guitar player in the room, the bass player in the room, the engineer in the room? These things are important.
Very.
I need someone to step up and be a proponent of the artist meeting the writer in a way of respect. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, I met you in your 4th album and now you're selling billions of albums. You won't sell billions of albums if you don't have a hit song.
Exactly.
Hi, this is where I come in. Where I come in should not be, you tell me you're saving my life. We're saving each other's lives. Mm-hmm. Because if you keep dwarfing these amazing writers, they start to whisper amongst each other and no one's going to write for you. And, you know, I hate mentioning artists that are alive's names because I don't want to be clickbait. But, you know, I read an article, and since that's a fact, I read an article about the young writer TC turning down Beyonce because he didn't want that same instance of Michael Jackson. The same, I give you money and you walk away. No disrespect to Beyonce. How you do your business is how you do your business. I've known Jay-Z from the beginning before he was on as well. No disrespect. This is what I read. And so the writer turned down the project. Now I know TC to be a dope writer. He's not a friend of mine, but he worked with a producer that I knew in the beginning when they were both coming up. Shout out to Nas. His name is Nas. Nas 550. And, you know, someone working to get on your radar should not have them walking away like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna be treated like I'm worth. And we're constantly doing that to each other in an environment where other people are doing the same thing. So in short, I feel like until the writers are respected, the music business will suffer.
I definitely agree with that, Pudgee, because just as you stated, I think when people push the writers to the background, understand that's why we got what we got right now in R&B. How it's going popish, that's what we got right now. Hip hop, you have a lot of mumble rap where a lot of the words, a lot of the lyrics don't make sense. It's where writers are not as respected, and you hear it and you see it, you read about it all the time about, you know, the ghostwriters that come into the forefront. Yeah, this song that you hear on the radio that, you know, just sold a million copies. That was me that wrote it. But then when you look at the credits, they're nowhere to be found. And nope. I know a lot of writers that have written, like you said, same thing, paid them off, nowhere to be found. The major artists slapped their name on it, and boom, it's like they were never heard of. So I mean, it was like you said, it's the nature of the business. But it should not be done that way. Like, somebody has to come forward and stand up for the writers. And speaking on that, like, which do you prefer? Do you prefer being the writer, or do you prefer being the artist?
It's a shift.
When you write for yourself, Pudgee, you know, it's always great when you write for yourself.
Well, it's not, actually. It's
really?
I'm going to tell you why. If you're a really, if your writing is prolific, if your mind, if your range of vision is wide, you have songs that you're unable to do.
Gotcha.
I've written for many females. I've written for white males. There are experiences I could write that I can't sing.
Gotcha.
Right? I have vision. I have the brain. And yeah, I have this idea, but coming from me, it's not going to resonate as it should. Gotcha. I've got to find someone to be the face piece or mouthpiece, whichever you like, of that at the time. And sometimes it needs to be a face piece and a mouthpiece, because if it's a song about being beautiful and you're not beautiful, it's like, right? You know, let me stick on that topic first.
Okay.
What I've learned about doing demos, I came up around a lot of singers, right? I'll be sure was like a big brother to me. You know, he how he crafted his voice is important. You know, people could say that he's not this big, huge singer. He doesn't have this big instrument, but what he did to make you listen is huge. That's a talent in itself.
Yes.
Vocal stylizing, right? Like T-Boz. People taking not a contemporary idea of a singer, but turning it into a focused version of this instrumentation, the voice, and making themselves sound like something that's palatable to the ear and listenable, right? So I think here's what I really believe, and I'm gonna switch real quick. I feel like if you pour all the goodness into yourself, you sometimes don't get to see it posed against yourself. If I write a song for you and you sing it, I get to hear objectively where the colors could have been bigger, where I could have taken license and I didn't, where we can go back in and tailor it so that it really hits home. Sometimes when you're singing it yourself, you're so close to it. You like, it's lit or it's terrible. Either way. And I'm hard on myself, so I'm never like it's lit. I'm usually like, I have a trash it or cash it approach. So I send my songs out to people in the middle of the night, 5, 6 in the morning, whatever. And they hit me back like, oh my God, cash it, you know? So I'm usually on the cash it side. I think I've gotten 2 in the past 4 months that were like, you could fix this part, or why did you do that? And I'm like, oh, because I was being, fire, Sometimes in your head it's mystical, it's mystifying, and the other people is like, what the hell is that?
I know.
So
yeah, I know. Like when you're being creative, when you're in a mood, when you're being creative, it's just especially when you're in a zone. When you're in a zone, like it's whatever at that point.
It's a fact. I don't. So I don't write anymore. I have I record myself line for line because we don't know that we're training ourselves when we're writing. So as a writer, I've trained myself to write battle rhymes. That's how I came in the game. That's how the rap me is going to go out. If you ask me to write bars, I'm attacking somebody that's in front of me, but it's not in front of me, right? So I don't want to do that. So I sit there and everything I record, especially melodically, I let the music tell me what it needs. Gotcha. And it's allowed me to create what I told you a few seconds ago about being objective. Now I can listen progressively and say, this needs a really, really rhythmic feeling here, or this needs a really emotional feeling, or it needs less color, or it needs to be atonal. I need to just be talking here, for the energy. It's definitely allowed me to redefine my approach to crafting a song. I also would like to just add this because we kind of strayed from this. Someone called me recently, and she may see this, and I just have to put this out there for the younger writers and for the writers that are my age, older, whatever you are. Someone called me that's a friend, that's like a known female rapper. She's in movies, she's a celebrity, whatever. She calls me one night and she says, I want you to write my album. And I was like, okay. And then she says, but you need to create a publishing company so that nobody knows it's you, because everybody knows that you're the writer. We just talked about people disabusing us of the privilege of having the notoriety and the celebration that comes with creating a body of work, right? So to have somebody you consider a friend that is calling you, asking for your help, asking for your help, asking for your help. To have that person call you with their hand out, but then telling you how you're going to run your business. She may see this and be offended, but I don't care. You offended me.
Yeah.
Offensive to tell someone. You could ask someone, hey, you think, because I'm looking to create this idea that I'm this great writer, and I'll be like, okay, that's a lie, but I can help, something like that. That's different.
But I know, right? Like, can you help me out? Can you do this for me?
Yeah, but if you calling me with big boss talk, And
Right.
they, people say, well, you should have big boss money. Big boss money doesn't mean anything to me. When you die, big boss money is probably spent, and they can't Google big boss money. What they can Google is your Wikipedia. What they can Google is things that you've actually touched, places you've actually been, people that have actually stamped you, people that have taken pictures of themselves or videos with you in the studio, crafting this work, with you feeding them the melody line and the world seeing it. That came from you.
Right.
If those people aren't giving you that platform to show your talent in a grand way, and instead they're coming with the shovel and want to bury you deeper, you probably shouldn't even rock with them. So just to in case anybody watches this at some point and asks whatever happened, I said no, and I said no in a regular dude way who's cheating on a girl. I just said nothing. I was like, word, well, yeah, that sound like, yeah, and then we just never did it.
Yeah.
Because I realized that having a conversation with people that are focused on their agenda, the rationale is never going to hit them the way it's supposed to hit them. If I'm coming to you with facts, honesty, truth, sincerity, but all you care about is what you want, what I'm saying is never going to land where it's going to supposed to land, whatever. So that didn't happen. But to anybody who gets these opportunities, listen, if you're a brand new writer and you're living in your mother's house and you need $50,000 and you're going to write on Lady Gaga's album, she writes her stuff, I'm sure. But I'm just taking her because she's a huge artist, and watch her get 5 billion sold, and you after taxes walked away with $34,000, and you spent that on your Honda, and now you have no money, and you're starting from the same space. If that's what you like, I'm not here to say don't do that, but I'm telling you that's what it's going to look like. And I would rather walk away with my respect and let it land where it's supposed to land, and give it to God. A lot of people talk about God, but I feel like God's going to lead. And yes, I'm supposed to be active in my mission, but sometimes my activeness is being passive. That's still an action, falling back and saying, all right, God, this way, you lead the way. No problem. Because we don't have all the answers. And I've met with a lot of people who are focused on their agenda, and it's by hook or by crook, and they don't care about us either way. So.
Yeah, I get it. Well, before I let you go, Pudgee, I have one question, and one question only. Then is,
I'm sure it's gonna be done.
How did you come from NC Effect to Pudgee the Fat Bastard? How did that happen? How did that happen?
I was looking at you as this sweet, wonderful person.
I am, Pudgee. I just want to know.
You just bought this old rap name back. Who told you to be a dope interviewer? What's your problem? Don't be doing no research.
I want to know. I just want
to know. My business brain told me that it wasn't going to get popping by being MC Effect.
Gotcha.
But I always thought about why I had my rap names, and I was MC Effect because of how my rhymes affect people, and that was stupid. So I've only said this one other time, and I'm going to be very honest. People used to say, I hate that fat bastard when people were talking about it, because my mom was sarcastic. Like, Pudgee, I hate that. So here's the thing. I never thought, at first it was a diss. I never thought to make it a name.
Yeah.
Nobody knows this story except a friend. So this is going to be crazy to say it out loud. I'm telling on myself. Old Dirty Bastard and I met on the train. He was a song, but he was Old Dirty Bastard. He knew who he was. We were both just in the beginning of, we had no deals, nothing. He told me that he was with this crew and they were going to blow up from Staten Island. And Staten Island to somebody from Harlem was like another planet. So I was like, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. I found out later that Staten Island is lit, right? Yeah. But I didn't know at the time. So he was telling me, and I was like, okay. Now, respectfully, he was dressed like Old Dirty Bastard. So we don't have no deals. I see somebody on the train with a rhyme book, not looking dressed like me. Somebody from Harlem would think somebody lit was dressing. So I was like, this dude is delusional. But I was like, this is crazy. But we talked about Rom because I was like, oh, he was, and I was like, well, Rom. And then we start talking. We got each other's numbers. But as I was thinking about his name, I was struck by the bastard name.
Yeah.
And I was like, they call me the fat bastard. I was like, people call me Pudgee because I was gaining weight, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And girls would be like, you're not fat, you Pudgee. And then so once he said that, I was like, I'm gonna be Pudgee the fat bastard. That's where that name came from.
See, that's it. But you know what? That's what I was thinking. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna ask because I was like, it just seems so, it's unique. But then, you know, in my mind, I was like, well, maybe that might have came.
It's a little bit brash, right?
Yeah, right.
But people were calling me, saying it behind my back as a disrespect. But when I saw that he took ownership of it, it allowed me, especially for me, the fat bastard part was like, right. What? You calling me fat? Like, so to take ownership of that, he gave me the idea that I wasn't gonna be old and dirty because
right.
old and dirty, but the fat bastard was like, I'm gonna do it. And I tell you, immediately after it was on and popping.
Yeah.
So I have to thank him for that. We saw each other later and talked about it, but I was like, yo, you inspired me. And he was like, yo, good for you.
But he was a character. I mean, I had the opportunity to be in his presence, but he was always a character whenever you was around him. Like,
nah, it's a fact, but a good person.
Yeah, he was.
Which was unexpected, you know, because he was wild for the night. So you thought everything was going to be the Wild Wild West. He was going to be lawless, no lawyer. He's a good dude, and
he was.
He that part of my identity, he helped me take ownership of. Because who wants to be called the fat bad? Even when I told my father that name, he's like, "I'm your father. I'm here." You're not a bastard, but the idea that he enabled me to take that on when I started to do interviews, and I would go into homeless shelters and I would go into schools and speak and told them that story. It actually helped children diffuse some of the names that were coming their way. It actually showed them how they could take the power out of something that someone else said and give it its own meaning and its own power and its own existence. And for that, I'm forever grateful because, you know, when you're young and you call names, that bastard, right? Anyway, right. So thank you for extrapolating that.
But, you know, but before I go, I just want to know, like, what can we expect from Pudgee now? I know you said that you don't write anymore, but what can we look forward to, you know, from Pudgee now?
So I don't write, but I do record.
Okay.
I record myself. So the writing isn't really writing. It's oral dictation, oral recording of speaking, something like that. Yeah, my album's called Monsters and Heroes, and it's kind of a mishmash of art. It's no longer me trying to battle the invisible person in front of me. It's more about me sending messages. So there's a lot of Afrobeat. There's a lot of powerful messages, and then there's some ratchet. Like I have this song called "Set That Up." Let's talk. Which is a rap song. I'm talking about "Set It Up" with me and Shorty. Like the lyrics are pretty ratchet, so you know I can only dumb it down to say.
I know, but so much, right? But so much.
Link me with link. Can you link me with Shorty? I need an introduction. Yes. But yes,
I like it. I like it.
Listen, I really believe in my heart that you're going to. No one likes everything. I don't like everything from every artist, but I think you're going to respect the sound because I'm an audiophile, and I think you're going to definitely respect the soundscape that I'm creating, and I think that the content is going to, like, I have a song called Old Shit. Old
Mm.
Shit. I don't know if I can curse, but I said it twice. I
Yeah.
saw your eyes do some type of weird fluttering thing. Sorry for the cursing. Oh, but it's talking about it's talking about how I'm in this relationship with the female and she keeps bringing up that those
Old stuff. Typical female stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like I thought that was over. Like we said, we're not gonna talk about that no more. And now you acting like I'm hard to trust because you bring in, you probably doing your makeup thinking about Roquana.
Yeah. What you did last week. What you did last month.
Yeah, so I'm really in love with that. And my single that I'm gonna be pushing is called Choose Violence.
Okay.
I think you're yeah, I think it's also it's not a bashing song, but it's just saying that instead of her wanting to talk things out, she wants to destroy
Choose
stuff
violence.
and
Yes.
fight and wild out. So I'm like, you always choose violence. You
Okay.
always choose violence. Yeah, it's lit. It's,
Okay.
it's lit.
Okay. I heard that. I heard that.
So wait a minute. So how do you pronounce your name?
So my name is Nisha.
I know that, but
Uh-huh.
you got this accent apostrophe.
So my mom, yeah. So the way we spelled it is Nesha, but as my career went on, people start putting a apostrophe in it, so it almost looked like it says Nisha, right?
So that's my
So
husband's name. So I was traumatized.
yeah,
So thank you. Shout out to Nisha, but no thank you. I would love to call you Nisha. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so and it's crazy because when I would do performances, that's what it would be like. Sometimes they would call me Nisha, they would call me Nisha, so
All
I
right.
just stuck with it because it was just so much easier. Um, I had to still correct them. So and
Well, my name is Pudgee.
it's
They've
crazy.
messed that up classically. So which is
Yeah,
how can you mess up Pudgee?
yeah.
So good. That prompted me to ask my next interview question, which
Uh-huh.
is, what is Nisha the voice about? What's the voice? What is it?
So so long story short, I went to a Andre Harrell had a talent search in Charlotte,
Shout out to
and I was on this talent search, made it down to the final. So first he didn't know my name, so he kept calling me Carolina. So he kept saying, where's Carolina? Where's Carolina? So after he started calling me that, it later transitioned into the voice from Carolina. So it was one of those things to where it was like, okay, it started to stick. So then I was like, well, my name is Nisha, so we added that on it, and then it just stuck. It was just something that we just put out there, and it started to catch on. Everybody was like, oh, well, when you see that name, it's like, okay, well, what is that all about?
yeah. I,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I got caught up in the rap. So tell me all about it. What is it all about?
So Nisha the voice basically is, for me, it's basically describing my voice. I can basically be gospel, I can do R&B, I can do pop. So it's pretty much just describing my voice.
So
Within a
wait.
nutshell.
So you hiding behind some interviewing identity, trying to get all up in our business, but you lit.
Pudgee,
But you,
Pudgee.
but you lit? No, that's
Check
what I
my
do.
resume, Pudgee.
Okay, there it go. Pop out, pop out. Wait a minute. So wait. So when I'm gonna hear something, we might be doing a collab. Why you played yourself?
Hey, we can definitely talk about that. My
About
Instagram
it
has
right
has a
here,
lot
so
of my stuff.
everybody can hold you accountable.
Yeah, everything's on my site. I have videos and everything on my site as well with all of my music that's there. So I've been doing this now for probably about 20 years. I know almost the same people as you know. I let's see, 92, 93. I was in New York doing a lot of same thing, same as you, recording um, in people's basements, meaning, going from label to label. I worked with Vincent Herbert for a little while.
Okay.
And yeah, just going from label to label. Like you said, learning how to write, learning how to take care of my business as a writer. as well. And just pretty much learning the business. I worked with Fran Lover for a while.
That's my
Um,
bro. He did my single.
yeah.
Money don't make your world stop. Pudgy the fat bastard. Hit that on YouTube. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. My
Yeah,
bad.
so we have some people in common. Fran has been knowing me since I was a teenager. So we have a lot of history. So Fran has watched me grow as an artist as well. And yeah, I mean, I've opened up for Anthony Hamilton, Faith Evans, Carl Thomas, a couple people. So yeah, so definitely we need to talk about that.
As soon as I get off of here, I'm going to your site, yo.
Please do.
Like, how you hiding these secrets, yo?
Hey, hey. I do
Listen,
my research on you. You do your research on me.
the Bible says, "Build and they shall come." So
Yes.
you build in, and I'm about to come to the website. What's going on over there? Yeah, expect that hit. We're gonna hold her accountable.
Hey, got you. Got
Okay,
you.
all right. So, is there anything else you'd like to ask me since I asked you?
No, no, Pudgy. I don't have nothing else to ask you, but can you give everyone your Twitter handles or your Facebook where people
Yeah.
can reach you?
Please follow me on everything. Pudgy the Fat Bastard. That's PUDGEETHAPHAT Bastard. I didn't know if I could say it on here. I'd give it. Took me.
Yeah, you good.
All right. So Pudgy the Fat Bastard on everything, and I'm Pudgy the Fat on Twitter because they won't let me put the bastard part. They probably like
Yeah.
this.
Twitter be tripping. Twitter and Instagram both be tripping. So
Yeah. So, but yeah, Monsters and Heroes, and my new single is Choose Balance, and look for Set That Up. That's a very nice ratchet song for all my ratchet lovers. And yeah, and then look for that hit for me and Nisha.
oh hey, hey, we got that.
Work
Definitely.
on that. That's
Definitely.
coming down the pipeline. Um,
Okay. I'm gonna look for that too, Pudgy now.
I appreciate you though. Thank
Yeah, I appreciate
you.
you too. Thank you so much for Pudgy for coming on tonight.
Nah, I appreciate you. You're a queen among others. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right, let's get it. I'm going to that site right now.
All right, you better. See you.
Later.
All righty, everybody. That was Pudgy the Fat Bastard. Very dope, 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 dope interview. I can't say enough like how dope that interview was, Gates. Like really, really, really. Um, he funny dude.
Yeah.
Love it, love it, love
Well,
it.
he's from Harlem. Harlem people like to crack jokes.
Yes, yes. I love it. I love
Mhm.
it. Dope dude, dope dude, dope show
Yes.
tonight.
Yes.
I'm hyped. Like I'm like okay.
Yeah, I like how he interviewed you.
Yeah,
He
you
put,
saw that, right?
yeah, he put you on the
So
spot.
definitely, and that, I love it. I love the conversation. But before we get out of here, Gates, I do want to talk about that Drake album that dropped last weekend.
Yes.
Have you heard it?
Yes.
Okay, I love it. I'm a Drake fan, so
Uh-oh.
I love it. Now, however, the beef between Kanye, well, Yeezy, and Drake right now because of the fact Donda didn't do as well as the Drake album is doing right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was a lot of jokes back and forth. To me, I like the Drake's album. I really do. Opposed to, the Donda album has its highs and lows, but the Drake album is a bop for real. Like
Yeah.
I like it. I really do.
Yeah, I think Drake have more energy. Kanye West album didn't have energy. I think Kanye West was trying to tell a story.
Yeah.
But it's had pain, a lot of pain, mixed emotions with it. Drake, like you could vibe to his album, like that. Like I could go to the club and play his music. I won't have that feeling with Kanye West album. So that's
right. The Kanye to me, I like to listen to music. I think all of us as women, we do like to listen to music when we're cleaning up or when we're taking a long ride. Drake, you can pop that in, you can pretty much, put that in your iPod or, your phone or whatever. You can ride with that for a while.
Yes.
The Donda album, I think I have to skip a few because there was a few of the songs that I was like, okay, yeah, I can get with that. Now I'm
Yeah.
gonna switch gears. The Nas album,
Yes.
yeah, dope all the way around.
Oh.
So
Okay.
all the way around. Okay.
Oh
I'm a
yes.
Nas fan too.
Oh.
I love the joint with him and Lauryn Hill. Everybody's been
Okay.
talking about that as well. So
Yeah, I like that record. I like
hmm
that record. Um,
yeah,
and the EPMD Part Two with
right,
Eminem. A lot of people talking about that record too. So
right, right.
he got a solid album. I think. Do you think he'll get another Grammy nomination for that album?
Mm, we'll have to see because I think
Okay.
sometimes you have the albums that grow on you, or
Yeah.
the albums that appeal to a different genre are the ones
Yeah.
that walk away with the Grammys. The
Okay.
ones that, and I think I kind of figured the Grammys out a little bit, is it always is the opposite of what we think should be receiving Grammys.
Yes.
It's always like, what we feel that probably should have been number one is not number
Mm.
one in the, in the Grammy world. It's
Yeah.
always, the opposite, the total opposite, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Because there's a lot of people I thought I remember what's that girl name? Doja Cat. I thought
Yeah,
she was
Doja
gonna
Cat.
yeah, I thought she was gonna walk away with a Grammy and she lost to Beyonce. I was like,
She
wow,
did.
she was
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
So
Doja Cat she's very unique in her approach. I love
yeah,
her records. A lot of the kids on TikTok use it a lot.
yes.
So, you know what I'm saying? So I think she would be more Billboard, she would be more MTV awardish opposed to the Grammys.
Yeah, I think so too. So what female rapper, you think could be the next rapper
Right now,
besides Megan Thee Stallion? Do you think she's gonna fade back and Doja Cat could be the front girl?
well, you know what? Someone said this where you've got a lot of the rappers now that wants to be singers.
Mm,
Singers want to be rappers.
mm,
And at the same time, someone also said you get in, get as much as you can, and then you get out. I
yeah.
think with Megan, everything is starting to sound the same. There's too many
Yes.
Megan Thee Stallions right now.
Yeah.
Um, so many of the female artists that are coming out want to look like Megan Thee Stallion. They want
Yeah.
to do the same music as Megan Thee Stallion. So after a
Yeah.
while, that's gonna phase out. They
Yeah.
need somebody more hardcore now because
Yeah.
I really feel like music, the history repeats itself. So
Yes.
I think you'll start to see more of you saw the Nicki Minaj phase, what faded out. Now
Yes.
you see which evolved into the Megan Thee Stallion era. So that's gonna
Yes.
fade out. So now they need something new.
Yes.
So
Well, I think
we'll
Doja
see.
Cat could be the one. She rapping and singing, so like
Yeah,
she's a little
yeah,
versatile. She got
yeah.
that
She is.
crossover music. So
Yeah, she
I think
does.
I think I can see Megan Thee Stallion fading out, like you said, and she could be the new wave.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, what do
Yeah.
you think about some of the hot independent artists right now that we should be looking for?
Right now, I have an artist name from Vacant Lot. I don't know if anybody know that, but Vacant Lot is a producer named Dan Grease. He did production for DMX, The Locks. So he
Wow.
got
Okay.
so he got an upcoming artist named Bigger Threat, and he got a record called Fat Album. So which he is going against towards him because he's big, so he's playing
Right.
off of that. So you got him. He's hot right now for New York. I have a person named Excellent. He's from New Orleans. So
Okay.
so he's a rapper and producer. So
Wow.
so he make his own beats and stuff like that. So and he also did production work for people in New York from like Raekwon, Redman, Akon. So he been dibbling, dabbling in the industry, plus putting out his own music.
Yeah,
So
those are some heavy names right there. So
yeah,
definitely, we're looking
yeah,
out for those independent artists, and hopefully we
yeah,
get them in the mix.
yes,
And speaking of that, if any independent artist that is watching tonight, make sure you all go log on to Instagram. Also go to the Industry Conversations 101 Instagram page. Hit the link to submit your music so that we probably can get it in the mix here in Industry Conversations 101
yes. We would
in the
like to
mix with
play.
DJ Gates. Yeah,
Yes,
definitely. We would love
yes,
to play the independent music. Well,
mm,
Gates, I think it's been a wonderful show.
yes,
I'm looking forward to next Thursday as well. Hope you guys are looking forward to next Thursday as well.
yes.
Shouts out to Preston Magazine. Also,
Mm,
shouts out to Ben as well. Thank you all so much for your support every Thursday. We're signing out. We will see y'all.
Bye.
Be back here next Thursday. Bye.
Yeah, bye.